Trump's ally in El Salvador, Bukele, the president, the one that is illegally imprisoning all of the people that have been kidnapped and renditioned without due process from the United States, is a criminal gangster. He is connected to the exact same gangs that him and Trump claim to be fighting against. And some of the people that they deported without due process were set to testify in American court about Bukele's gang connections when they were suddenly kidnapped and sent to El Salvador before they could testify about his connections. Now we have over half a dozen journalists in exile from El Salvador because they were about to expose Bukele's connections to gangsters. This is at the same time that Trump has kidnapped a scientist from Harvard and is about to send her back to Putin's gulags because Putin doesn't like her and because Trump is literally kidnapping people within the United States and sending them to foreign dictators to be disappeared, because that is the kind of quote-unquote leader that Trump is. Trump, who claims to be fighting gangs like Tren de Aragua and then making deals with people like Bukele, who is directly connected to gangs like that. It's all a big fucking lie. We are being run by a criminal mafia regime with criminal mafia allies.
El Faro, after the Salvadoran president, Nayib Bukele, threatened to arrest them all. The outlet reported, quote, a reliable source in El Salvador told El Faro that the Bukele-controlled Attorney General's office is preparing at least 7 arrest warrants for members of El Faro following the publication of an interview with 2 former leaders of the 18th Street Revolucionarios on Bukele's years-long relationship to gangs. Bukele has run the country under a so-called state of exception since 2022, supposedly in order to weaken these same gangs. And Salvadoran authorities have detained nearly 80,000 people accused of being in gangs, largely without access to due process. Human rights groups report at least 250 people have died in El Salvador prison since Bukele's so-called war on gangs began. This comes as Bukele is working closely with the Trump administration to jail immigrants sent from the United States at CECAT, El Salvador's notorious so-called terrorism confinement center, the mega prison. In a moment, we'll be joined by El Faro's digital editor in exile. But first, this is a clip from one of El Faro interviews with a gang member. In it, we hear how just 1 month into the state of exception El Salvador back in 2022, despite